We are live. The final Super Bowl 59 preview on the bottom line view, not including my why the Chiefs might win the Super Bowl video, which I really don't want to make, but I have to later on tonight. But this is the final breakdown, the final prediction video, the final picks video on the bottom line view for Super Bowl 59. And I have none other with me, the one and only Eagles bandwagon fan himself. Tua's not good enough, so he jumps on the back of another Alabama quarterback, Jalen Hurts, and the Philadelphia Eagles. That is Durcant. And in the other corner, yes, the other corner, because this is a fight, ladies and gentlemen. This is a rivalry. This is a contest between Ultra and Durcant. Durcant's one love, Saquon Barkley and the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Swiftie himself, the closet Chief fan, the man with the red hoodie. And don't think that that is some sort of mistake. It is on purpose. Ultras, Chiefs, Durcant, Eagles. I'm just in the middle, guys. I'm just in the middle. I'm in the middle, bro. The Patriot fan, Chief hater himself is in the middle, bro. So let's break it down. Join the chat. Let us know who you guys think's going to win. We're going to have some fun, and we're going to focus the attention of Durcant and Ultra and their breakdowns of the game, because you guys have heard me spit freaking 250 stats at this point. I don't know what else I can say about this game. So Ultra and Durcant are primarily going to carry the analysis. I will give my opinions as well, and we'll probably fight about it. So
I gotta say,
Gronk spike the like. Go Ultra.
First of all, how excited, Durcant, are you for this game? Because I am super excited.
I am ecstatic. I am nervous. I feel like I have so much to lose. Like I have so much to lose. This is the first time really that in recent memory that my team, that I have researched on this very PC and concluded like, yeah, this is the best team in football, has actually gone on to make the Super Bowl. This is like the Niners. This year, like last year was supposed to be Mitch's year with the Niners. This year is supposed to be mine. Okay? Like this is the team. I did a recap of the overreactions in Discord that everybody loves. Like my best take, week 10, I said the Eagles are the best team in the NFL. No one agreed. No one wanted to jump on the bandwagon. I took them first overall in the team draft over the Lions, over the Bills, the Ravens, the Packers, over all of these teams. I took the Eagles, and they're here. They are here to validate every single thing that I have been saying and mostly been correct about. So I feel like I have a lot to lose, and I'm a little bit nervous because they are playing Satan himself. They have like 6 players with the flu right now.
Be honest, Durcant, as an Eagles guy, this was the last team in the AFC you wanted to see on the other side.
Because yes, this is the three-peat aura. Big Red, Taylor Swift and her boyfriend, Patrick Mahomes, Big Spags, the special teams, like there's so much that Saquon Barkley has to try to overcome, but maybe he can do it. I don't know. I am hyped to see this. I'm going to be cheering for the Eagles all the way. They have been my team this year pretty much in terms of, I've been the Eagles guy all year before anyone else wanted to be. And they have a chance to be legendary in my books because they have a chance to stop the three-peat from happening.
They've stopped the three-peat before. It just wasn't at the end. But one thing I'll say is I was borderline depressed like after the Bills lost, and I was
I gotta go here real quick because my friend Mitch Milani been in hell for 2 weeks.
No, I haven't.
You have been. I've been listening. I haven't seen your final prediction. So
Ultra. This game, I am more prepared for this game. I have invested more hours, more minutes into a Super Bowl. Probably never before. This is probably the most I've researched a Super Bowl.
Not about the research you've done, because you've done a lot of good research here. It's the teams that are playing. On one side, there is the team that you love mocking, the Kansas City Chiefs.
I'm all Eagles. I'm cheering for the Eagles, 100%. I'm wearing my Saquon jersey, my Penn State Saquon jersey, signed by Saquon himself.
You've picked.
I'm wearing it for the game. I'm ready to go.
You've picked against them in every big game.
No, I picked them this time.
Okay. And then the other side's the Eagles. And don't think Eagles fans, other than Big Al, because he's a nice guy, have forgotten what you've said in the past about Nick Sirianni.
Well, Nick Sirianni's a jackass. I don't stand down from that.
Asked about Jalen Hurts. And even Big Dom has caught some strays from one Mitchell Nolan.
Big Dom is a jabroni. Literally, when you look up in the dictionary, jabroni, there's the face of Big Dom.
You're not exactly the most beloved man in Kansas City or Philadelphia right now. But it is true. I've been on the Chiefs. I spent a couple years not picking them to win the Super Bowl. I was wrong every time. Decided after the game last year against the 49ers that I'm just going to pick them all year. And until they lose, I'm just going to roll with it. And it's been working out pretty well.
Guys, he's a Swiftie. We've uncovered the truth. Ultra is a Swiftie. Do not listen to a word he says.
I'm the only one on this show that thought that they could beat the league MVP and Josh Allen 2 weeks ago. Everyone else fell for the Buffalo trap or the Baltimore trap. So we'll see.
Okay, how do we want to start this preview off? Because I want to say this. At the beginning of last week, like I was saying, I was dreading the matchup. But as we sit here on Saturday night, there are almost too many ways that I think the Eagles can win this game. So I'm excited. But at the same time, I still feel like you can never count out the Chiefs. But this might be bold to say. This might be the best team that the Chiefs have ever played in the Super Bowl.
I don't agree with that.
Are we talking roster? Like just pure roster talent?
Roster.
I would agree.
Pure lack of holes.
I would agree. This team has no flaws outside of Jalen Hurts pooping himself.
If they had Tom Brady, I would say yeah.
Okay, I don't mean it as in
you can be the best roster or not.
Okay, they don't have Tom Brady, but just everybody else.
I think that every team the Chiefs have played in the Super Bowl has had a significantly better 53-man roster.
I don't agree with that.
No, I don't agree with that.
You guys
last year the Niners
everyone thought the Niners were a better overall roster.
The Niners defense wasn't that
slightly,
good last year.
But the Chiefs had a better defense. That was a very overplayed storyline.
Receiving core in the league.
They have Andy Reid. It doesn't matter. And they had Travis Kelce.
They led the league in drops.
They had a better running game.
Everyone was calling them the Avengers. They had Christian McCaffrey.
That was an overrated thing, though, because the Chiefs perfectly matched up with them. Like
we all picked the Niners.
The Niners were better on offense, and the Chiefs were better on defense.
2 years ago, the Eagles definitely had a better roster.
Oh, and I think you could make an argument the Eagles could have won that game pretty easily.
Oh, the Bucs definitely had a better roster.
The Bucs definitely had a better roster, and they killed them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the Niners 5 years ago had a better roster, in my opinion.
But they had no quarterback, and that was close.
So, like, I get it. Like, rosters are what they are. The Ravens had a better roster last year than the Chiefs did, too.
I just think, okay, where's the hole in the Eagles? Last year's Niners, you could look at how they were regressing defensively, how they were defending the run. You could look at their offensive line, especially against the blitz. You could look at Brock Purdy. You could look at a bunch of different things. A lot of the Niners were based on how good Kyle Shanahan is, whether you believe it or not.
Brock Purdy was the best.
Eagles, it's not based on the head coach. It's based on they have the best offensive line in the league.
They have the best everything in the league.
It might be the best line we've seen in a decade. They have the best defense
back in the league.
They have the best defense. They have the best combo of receivers next to the Bengals. They have the best running back. They have the best secondary.
This is the thing, Ultra. This is what you're not comprehending.
Every single Super Bowl, I go in here and say this team is more talented.
I don't think you're accurately assessing the past teams, and I don't think you're accurately assessing the Chiefs.
I do not think it is a coincidence that in the 4 Super Bowls the Chiefs have played before this, they have gone in. Consensus is they have a worse roster, and
They were favored against the Bucs.
3 of them, they had a way better quarterback. They won all of those. And in the one that they actually had a similar caliber quarterback, they lost. And I think this is
fair, though, in the game against the Eagles, the quarterback that lost played better.
Volume. I think it was pretty even in that game. They had the ball the whole game. The yardage was way more.
Look at the Swifty, dude.
400 yards.
See,
they won because of special teams and a fumble return.
I'm pretty sure
this is all like propaganda just to make Mahomes, get like the Chiefs last year won because of their defense.
We all picked the Niners, you guys.
They won because of their defense. They won because they had a historically good secondary.
And let's dive into it a little bit further. They got a muff punt.
Yes.
Dre Greenlaw tore his Achilles. They got a blocked extra point.
Yeah. Like, and the Chiefs also have.
And Brandon Ayuk made his DB
Christian
fall.
McCaffrey fumbled in the red
Chiefs
zone.
Fumbled in the red zone.
Chris Jones bailed them out on like 3 different touchdowns.
Fumbled.
Chris Jones is a great player.
And the guard got hurt, which caused
the
Chris
Niners
Jones to get 3 free pressures.
The Niners last year were a very flawed but explosive team. They were like a better version of this year's Lions. Basically.
I just feel
the
like
the Eagles, like outside of Jalen Hurts, who is capable of great performances, they have no flaws and they're elite in like every area of their team.
What about the coach? Mitch is calling Andy.
They have good coordinators.
Anything?
And Fangio is the best defensive coordinator that they've played in a Super Bowl.
Fangio is great. I don't know why we got rid of him.
Pretty good. Robert Saleh was pretty good.
Todd Bowles is
trash. Bowles and Robert Saleh. What?
They're good defensive.
Vic Fangio's a legend.
Defensive coordinators
over Vic Fangio? Are you serious?
Mahomes is like 8-0 against Vic Fangio.
Okay, you want to dive into those numbers?
Yeah, his EPA per play goes down by 0.0.
Okay, let's do it.
His success rate's down by like 1%.
I knew he was going to twist the analytics in his favor.
Because they do. I'm sorry. Okay.
Bro.
What about the Bills? Why do they always beat the Bills?
Bro.
Why does nobody beat this team? If they're so flawed.
The Bills suck. That's why. The Bills suck.
The Bills defense. Sean McDermott.
Sean McTerrorist.
Okay.
It's the same thing with you guys. Every week there's a new excuse for why they win, and they always win.
I've got the graphic. Can I put a graphic on here? I don't know. Let me just.
I think you can. I think if you go to present.
If you share your screen, yeah.
That's too much work, bro. Hold on. I'll find it. You guys.
So you guys really think the Eagles are better than that Bucs team?
I think it's close.
They're not better as a team because of Tom Brady, but they're better as a roster.
They're more talented. Their roster. They don't have an average secondary.
The Eagles have a better roster in this game because they obviously
have the best running back maybe ever. Tampa had a committee.
I don't know
about a good committee, but he's having the best running back season of all time.
Brown, pretty good.
He's that good. The offensive line is amazing. The receivers are amazing. The defense is the best in the league.
Some Vic Fangio truths. If the Eagles win the Super Bowl, it will be because of their defense and Vic Fangio, all right? The last 4 games they have played Mahomes, including with Durcant's Dolphins.
Why aren't you going with the last 8? You're just going with the last 4? Because those are the games Mahomes happened to struggle with? Because if you look at the actual last 8...
No, because that's more relevant.
They've only
go back. Okay, so in all 8, they have a 38% red zone offense in all 8.
Yeah.
He has never thrown more than 2 touchdowns in a game in all 8. He has 10 touchdowns in 8 games.
Okay.
This year, the most coverages that the Eagles use are quarters in cover 6. Mahomes is one of the worst quarterbacks on third down against those coverages. In the last 4 games, he averages 225 yards.
Patrick Mahomes
per game.
3
He has under 60% completion.
Jesus Christ.
Okay. He has 5 touchdowns in 4 games, and they have 19 points per game on offense.
Wow. What do you have to say about that, Swifty?
I think his success rate goes down 1% against Vic Fangio in his career.
So you're looking at the 2021 Chiefs offense with Tyreek Hill.
I mean, you are too. Like last 4 games, you're looking at last year in a snowstorm.
What?
Again, in the playoffs in the Miami game.
Yeah, when Miami didn't have their entire
Miami couldn't score. They played conservative.
What does that have to do with Vic Fangio?
Because that's one of the games he's using. This is in New Orleans. That they're not going to be playing in that.
Okay, but the Eagles' defense is significantly more talented than that Miami defense.
I think the Chiefs' offense is better than they were at that point last year too. And then the other game.
All I notice is the number one thing I noticed about Mahomes versus Fangio. 2 things stand out: red zone offense, and number 2 is incompletions. He throws a lot more incompletions.
Well, they're going to throw the ball a lot. So I mean, I don't know what the incompletions will be. I'm sure there will be some in this game.
They should throw the ball a lot.
I mean, so who was the last? Vic Fangio was the defensive coordinator with Denver in 2021, correct?
Miami.
And then he was with Miami in 23, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they played. So you're looking at a completely different Mahomes from 3 years ago. And then you're looking at last year. One of the games, Mahomes was.
What's so different about him?
What's so different about Mahomes last year?
Mahomes was in a crisis in the middle of 2021, you guys. Do you not remember? Everyone was talking about the league figured.
So we can't look at any evidence then. We can only look at this year because they didn't play this year.
From 3 years ago.
I would say Mahomes was better 3 years ago than he is now.
I don't think
he's
so.
washed now.
I think Mahomes.
He's fat.
I think Mahomes has gotten smarter.
Mahomes was bad for half the year.
We'll get back to this. What do we want to do? Do we want to do individual breakdowns of the game? Do we want to do a side of the ball?
I see how this is going, and we're not even 20 minutes in. You two are going to tag team off of each other. You two are going to play off.
I'll stay out of it because I already have.
You've already talked about how the Eagles should win in 15 different ways.
They can.
All of the stats I've given you, and you're using all the stats that you have.
The Eagles are fucking stacked, bro.
The Eagles are the best. They're the best team.
The Chiefs can win because of their coaching and because of their quarterback. It's that simple. The Eagles can win because they're good at everything. I legitimately thought the Eagles were good, but then I went through all my research and found the Eagles are fucking crazy good.
You didn't know that they were this good?
No.
Number 1 in the league.
Hey, I did. I did.
Mitch, come
on.
No,
I haven't. I don't even think you know how good they are based on your talk.
I'm a lot higher on the Chiefs. I think they're 1 win away.
This team is a lot closer at the very least to that Bucs team than you're giving them credit for. I would say they're more talented. They just don't have Tom Brady
so at all. I think Tom Brady is 15 times better than Jalen Hurts was.
Okay, but the Eagles have a better roster. And the Bucs were not even well coached, so you can't even use that against the Eagles.
I don't think their roster.
You think Todd Bowles is as good as Vic Fangio? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I think it's pretty close, and I would take Bruce Arians over Nick Sirianni.
Bruce Arians doesn't do anything.
Bruce Arians was a good coach. There's no, it's not
you're hyping up Todd Bowles and Bruce Arians.
Why did their offense fall off a cliff the minute he was
Byron Leftwich?
Why was their offense so bad after Bruce Arians? Why are we talking about
the O-line is shit.
Okay.
And the Byron Leftwich is literally like the worst coordinator of all time.
Bruce Arians are comparable. People argue Bruce Arians is a literal Hall of Famer. And you guys think
Sirianni doesn't lose.
Sirianni's been to 2 Super Bowls.
Now you guys think Sirianni's a
Sirianni's been to 2
really
Super
Bowls.
Sirianni is a winner.
If they didn't have. Is Bruce Arians win a Super Bowl without Tom Brady? Give me a fucking break.
I mean, come on.
Come on.
The one.
Come on, bro. Wait. I've been looking at the chat.
This has been so bad.
I've been looking at the chat. Mr. Intamin, hope I'm saying that right.
Yeah, you get to the chat, bro.
He's calling me and Mitch out. He's basically like Ultra right now. He's like, we're haters, we're trolling.
You guys are losing your mind.
Okay, Ultra, give us reasons why the Chiefs are better than the Eagles and why they're gonna win.
Yeah. I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
I won't say a word.
The Chiefs never lose in the playoffs. in this 3-year run.
See, I don't like that reason, but okay, you
They
can
have a
have
better
that.
quarterback. They have a better coach. I think the Eagles' pass rush is overrated. I think the Chiefs are better suited to stop explosive runs than the Rams and Commanders were. They're way better at tackling. And I think Spagnuolo can fool Hurts. And I think the Eagles give up more pressure than you guys think. I think Hurts creates pressure for himself. And I think the Chiefs are pretty good at generating it. There's like 4 reasons right there.
Okay, that's fair. I agree with most of those. I think the script, as I broke down in about 25 videos I've made this week, the script for the Chiefs is a lot of quick passes. Hopefully they're more successful than the average team against the Eagles in that regard. I don't know how well they'll run it, but I think they need to mix it in. A lot of 12 personnel, hopefully. On the other side, I think comes down to, like you said, they've got to slow down Saquon so they can get in situations where they can create pressure, because I don't think they'll be able to create it without blitzing. So that's a concern, but I feel
They
like
blitz a ton too. That's the other thing. So I think a big thing in this game will be Hurts's reaction to blitzes.
if they can get Hurts into situations where basically the game is on him, then the Chiefs should win or can win.
I think they will win if that's the case, because what I think.
But to be fair, last time we saw them in a Super Bowl, he threw for 304 yards.
Barkley will get his. That's what I think. Like he's gonna have a good game. What they can't have happen is what the Rams had happen, where Saquon goes for 60-yard carries and 78-yard carries, and the Commanders game, first play of the game, he goes for 75, and it's 7-3 already, like out of there.
Are you concerned about the Chiefs' regression and run defense?
I am to a degree, but I still think that where they've regressed isn't actually the worst thing in the world against the Eagles. I would be more concerned about that. I was more concerned about it against the Bills, to be honest, because I thought the Bills were a team that could just ground and pound you consistently, and they kind of did that. They really only got.
You don't think the Eagles can do that?
I think the Eagles can, but I don't think that'll kill the Chiefs. I think you can eventually stop that. I think what'll kill the Chiefs is big runs, and the Chiefs have still been pretty good at stopping big runs. So. Okay. I think the game plan will be limit explosive runs and try to fool Jalen Hurts and try to get pressure on him. And then offensively, I think they won't run the ball very well. They'll get a couple yards in short yardage, but I think the Eagles are more vulnerable in the middle of the field than I think you guys are letting on. I don't think it's a coincidence Tyler Higbee had a decent game against them. I don't think it's a coincidence Zach Ertz had a really good game against them. I think Travis Kelce can have success in this game. I think they've not been great against receiver ones. I think that Xavier Worthy can have some success. I'm getting Andy Reid with 2 weeks to.
I kind of disagree with that.
Quinyon
Mitchell has allowed a 7 passer rating in the playoffs.
Quinyon Mitchell is so much better than Xavier Worthy, and I liked both coming out of college.
I kind of think for the Chiefs, I think they need like Hollywood or Juju from the slot to work.
I think the Eagles should play man more than I think the Eagles should play more zone, which they do typically do. Mahomes has been better this year, a lot better against man than zone. So I think the Chiefs will use a lot of the screen game like they always do. I think they'll go in the intermediate ranges of the field a lot. I don't expect a ton of big plays, to be honest. That's not really what they do anymore. They didn't even really do that against Buffalo. It was a lot of intermediate stuff, kind of in the middle of the field. And yeah, I think they'll just kind of try to meticulate their way down the field, which I think both teams are pretty good at. So again, I think both teams are going to score in the mid-20s in this game. I don't maybe low.
You're not worried about the fact that Eagles defense is the best at defending short passes?
I mean, I think that the fact that they've regressed in intermediate passes means I think the Chiefs can.
But the Chiefs have only thrown 7 passes past 10 yards in the entire playoffs.
But Mahomes' DVOA in the intermediate range is like 55%. So I still
the Bills.
I think if they have to, they'll be for the entire year. I think if they have to,
you're not concerned about the Chiefs O-line?
No, I mean a little bit. I trust Andy Reid to figure that out. I think that a lot of Jalen Carter snaps will be doubled, and I trust Mahomes to evade pressure pretty well and have an outlet if in case of anything. And I think they'll get the ball out quickly. Like I was worried about the Brady's pressure in Super Bowl 52, and he got the ball out quick. I was worried about the Eagles pass rush 2 years ago, and they didn't get any.
That is the turf.
And again, I think the Eagles pass rush is.
By the way, though, that O-line for the Chiefs was way better.
I think the Eagles pass rush is overrated. I do not think it is.
Okay, I can give you some stats. They have the best interior rush in the league.
I don't think it's nearly as good as
first in pass rush grade, second in pressure percentage, first in win rate. Milton Williams has the same amount of pressures in the playoffs as Chris Jones.
He's played an extra game, man.
But he's Milton Williams. Jalen Carter has 20 pressures.
Jalen Carter is a freak. But like,
okay, then you got Nolan Smith, who has the most sacks in the playoffs in Eagles history.
Okay.
Like, I'm just
and I love
all the stats.
But like,
then you got Josh Sweat.
Philly was 28th in pressure rate and 16th in sack rate.
But they have, according to the stats, they have the best interior rush in the league, and they're playing Mike Caliendo.
Okay, I think one guy, like if it was like the Bucs,
Milton Williams is really good, bro.
I know he's good. I don't think Milton Williams is going to win this game for the Eagles defense single-handedly, man.
He doesn't have to.
I don't think he will.
He doesn't have to, but he can wreck the game because they're playing Joe Tooney at left tackle.
And Nolan Smith is going to beat up on Jawan Taylor.
That's the thing. That's what I would worry about more. I think Nolan Smith to record a sack's a pretty good bet. But like again, Philly, I just don't think they have a great pass rush this year. Their statistics,
but that's wrong. That's objectively wrong.
They're 28th in the NFL in pressure rate.
I think for the Chiefs to win, it has to be a defensive game.
What do you mean by a defensive?
I don't see the Chiefs scoring more than 24 points.
I disagree with that.
Why?
I think
Why
the
do you
Eagles
disagree with
defense
that?
is too good.
The Eagles' defense has been the best in the NFL, and they have shut down better offenses.
The Rams in a snowstorm scored 22.
The Rams have better weapons than the Chiefs.
I don't think they do.
Snow slowed down this pass rush, though.
They had 5 sacks in that game.
Yeah.
Did it really?
And the Rams run the ball better than the Chiefs.
A little.
The Rams' offense, just in general.
The Chiefs' statistics are better.
And they scored 22, not 24.
I think for the Chiefs to win, it's going to be like 24-20. 24-21.
Snowstorm scored 22
They need Hurts.
Okay, what about every other team? What about every other team?
Washington scored what, 23?
Which is very possible.
Washington scored 23 when they lost by 40.
I think Kansas City will be, because Washington's defense was atrocious.
Yeah, Washington also couldn't move the ball. They got blown out.
No, Washington moved the ball.
Washington got blown out. They scored in garbage time.
Because they couldn't, they kept
And Washington's offense is better than Kansas City's.
Washington's the only team to score more than 23 points on the Eagles since October.
Okay, you guys.
And the other time they did it, it was because the Eagles couldn't maintain possession, and it was a fluke. The other games against Washington, they had 5 turnovers and
favored in this game.
You said what?
Because obviously they're the back-to-back champs. They have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid.
It doesn't sound like it to you guys. It sounds like they shouldn't even be on the field.
They shouldn't be favored.
The Eagles are the better team.
Analytically, they shouldn't be favored.
Analytically, the Bills,
based on reputation and based on success, they're going to be favored.
Analytically, the Bills should have been favored too. This team always overachieves.
But that game was in Kansas City, though.
This team always overachieves. Every year in the playoffs, they outperform the regular season stats. That is why this is the one team with statistics that I'm just like, they just prove me wrong with it every year. It just never seems to matter with these guys.
It just feels like you think the Eagles have no chance.
I just don't like how you're downplaying the best defense in the NFL.
You guys are acting like the Eagles are going to shut out the Chiefs.
They could. I think the Chiefs' offense isn't that good,
bro. I think there's a chance.
You guys think Nick Sirianni and Bruce Arians are comparable?
Bruce Arians isn't an elite coach. Why are you talking about Bruce Arians, Todd Bowles, and Byron Leftwich like that's some elite coaching staff?
I would take Spagnuolo over Kellen Moore in that matchup. I
agree. I agree. I think the reason the Chiefs win is Mahomes, Reed, and Spagnuolo.
And why is that a bad reason?
And the refs.
And the refs.
Why is that a bad reason?
That's not a bad reason.
You're acting like it is.
I'm just saying it's very possible the Eagles win because they have a lot of advantages.
It's not possible for the Eagles win. In fact, on paper, if you look at the statistics and if you look at the actual matchups in this game,
yes.
And if you look at the 53-man roster and you're doing like a tail of the tape, right? The Eagles are the better team. I want to make that.
That's all I'm saying.
Clear. I am not disagreeing with
that. But then you kind of like dive. But the thing that goes beyond that I've kind of been diving into on all my videos is like even like the niche matchups of like how Kansas City plays, how Philly plays, how that matches up statistically. It's like Philly is legitimately like a really hard matchup for the Chiefs. Like I tip your cap if the Chiefs win. Like seriously, like this is a really hard game for them to win, in my opinion.
You really have a ton of respect for the Chiefs if you're picking them. Because
I'm picking them because why should I pick against them? Because I picked against them a million times, bro.
Philly was 24th in DVOA against wide receiver ones. That's why I said what I said. I think.
But the Chiefs don't really have a wide receiver one.
Like,
but Worthy just set a bunch of screens.
I think Philadelphia. It's just I can't with the coaching, man. I can't.
I think where I'm confident in Philly is Fangio. I think Fangio.
I don't think Fangio in 2 weeks is going to outcoach Andy Reid.
I don't think he has to.
I don't think I kind of do. I think when you have Andy Reid and Mahomes, you have to have some sort like. I think that's enough.
I think what the Eagles do inherently is good against the Chiefs.
I do, but I think the Chiefs have proven to be the most adaptable team in the league for 7 years. They always find some sort of style of play that works. Every time in these big games,
I think
whether it's finding Kelsey, whether it's using the screen game, whether it's using the intermediate passing game, whether it's Mahomes running, whether it's the running backs running, something always happens with their game plan that ends up working.
Because like the first Super Bowl, I think if you without the special teams return and the fumble return, I think
special teams is another reason, by the way. I think the Chiefs have an advantage there. I don't trust Jake Elliott. I think the Chiefs.
Yeah, I think they have an advantage at kicker. I'm not sure they have an advantage at special teams, but
their return and punting's been a little better, but kicker's the main thing. But like, I don't know, man. I think there's a reason this team always overachieves in the playoffs, and I think some of
did they overachieve so far?
I mean, you guaranteed the Bills would beat them.
Yeah, but
because he's the Bills. Stan and the Chiefs hate.
The Chiefs were at home and they were the #1 seed and they never lost to Buffalo.
But you guaranteed them to
win. But I did. Sure, I did.
I don't know. I think #1, you guys.
You don't think the Eagles are like a lot more talented than the Bills?
They are.
I know.
I think the Bills because they have the fucking MVP.
They're a lot more talented than the Bills. But I think you guys are misremembering some of those Super Bowls. I do not think the Eagles are significantly better than the Niners were last year.
Bro, the Niners are Shanahan.
I don't think they're better than the Bucs were. And I don't
I don't think they were better than the Bucs. I misspoke. They're just as talented.
Well, the Bucs blew the Chiefs out.
Blew the fucking doors off the Chiefs. It wasn't even close.
I know, but again, we all know the circumstances surrounding.
It wouldn't have mattered. It would have been 100-0.
I know. I agree with you.
The defense was never stopping Tom Brady. If he actually wanted,
I agree with you there. But that's exactly it. It's Tom Brady.
It's okay, we'll eliminate Tom Brady.
I also think
the Chiefs also could have lost every Super Bowl they've played in too.
Yeah.
The refs, and that's another thing. The refs are the reason they beat the Eagles the first time. So you can't even use that game.
Like the refs have been if you subscribe to that logic, the refs have been going for the Chiefs in every single big game, and that's why they always win. Why are you picking against them then? Because that's always.
I'm not.
No, I'm talking to Durcant here. Okay, I guess Durcant doesn't think that. But
Durcant's on mute.
I think the way Jalen Hurts plays into Steve Spagnuolo's defense. I think his struggles against the blitz this year and over his career has been real. He has made progress in that area, and I'll give him credit for it. But I just think it's too hard for me to see the Eagles blowing out the Chiefs. I don't remember the last time the Chiefs got blown out in the game.
Bills
and in a close game, I'm going to trust Andy Reid and Mahomes every single time. That's what they've done for 3 years. So that's literally my logic of this.
Okay.
You're just a Chiefs fan.
I'm not going to overthink the room because
Eagles are 9-0 and Hurts hits 200 yards.
Statistics have
200.
Statistics told you the Bills would win. Statistics told you last year the Niners and Ravens.
I was really concerned about McDermott.
Statistics
give me a little credit.
The Eagles would win the Super Bowl 2 years ago too. So
they should have.
They should have.
I just think, but they didn't.
The refs.
If you think Durcant, the refs, if you think they always go for the Chiefs, why do you think it won't happen this game?
Because the Eagles are too good.
I think the Eagles lost because of randomness, not the refs.
Okay.
That's what I think. But I also think the Eagles are better than the Eagles that
This has been like the most disorganized breakdown of all time. Because
you know what? Let me go. Okay, because this I'm tired of the Swifty.
Before you go, Durcant, I've done a bunch of previews, proper previews. This is a shit talk discussion video, bro.
This is like
I'm tired of the Swifty propaganda. I'm tired of all the Chiefs, love blah blah blah. This is roster-wise, pure roster-wise, okay? This is the best team that the Chiefs have played in any playoff game since 2018. Any single one. Okay? The Eagles have zero flaws outside of Jalen Hurts. None. None whatsoever. And the Eagles, since their bye week, since October, have been like objectively the best team in the league. And it's like not even really a discussion. They have shut down significantly better offenses than Kansas City already. Okay, so for Ultra to sit on here and say that, for Ultra to suggest that it is ludicrous to say that the Eagles could hold the Chiefs.
Is there any level of competition concern for the Eagles? Because
I want to ask you, who did they shut down?
The Ravens and the Bengals.
Okay, the Ravens
and the Commanders.
But I was referencing in the playoff games. I think the Chiefs' offense right now is better than Green Bay's and LA's. And Washington, I don't think they shut down.
Is it? I don't know if it is.
I'll probably say it's better than an injured Packers. I'm not sure about the Rams.
I think it's like on the same level as the Rams.
Okay, but like
maybe
I think it's better than the Rams. I think it's pretty much like I would
also, that was a snow game, like. And weren't the Eagles up by like multiple touchdowns multiple times?
The snow game should have been.
No, bro. I told you. There's a reason Tom Brady would throw the ball 40 times in the snow. I told you this.
Why are you bringing up Tom Brady in the snow?
Okay, it's over your head.
Yeah, it totally.
Anyways, I was just gonna say, Durcant, is there any competition concern for the Eagles? Because remember when I said in 2017 they played nobody or not 2017, 2022.
Nobody.
They played nobody. Like looking back at it, like legitimately no one. If you like, because the Niners didn't have Brock Purdy. So I think they played maybe one good team that year. They beat up on the Giants 3 times to get to the Super Bowl. This year they've played a little bit more competition. Like we brought up a couple of the quarterbacks, couple of the teams.
Yeah,
I disagree. I think the Eagles have played plenty of competition this year. I think they've looked good.
They didn't play Kansas City during the regular season. They didn't play Buffalo. They didn't play Lions.
Okay. They played Baltimore, who I would say is basically Buffalo, basically the same caliber of opponent. They beat Washington 3 times, and Washington ended up beating Detroit and going to the NFC Championship. And I mean, they did beat Washington 3 times, but they should have. And
I think
it was convincing.
That they won 3 playoff games before they got here.
And to be fair, they did beat a healthy Packers. I know the Packers were beat up in the playoffs, but they did beat them when they were healthy. They beat the Bengals by a lot, which the Bengals did make the playoffs, but blowing the Bengals out is not an easy accomplishment, especially holding their offense to less than 20 points. I think the Eagles have played more than enough competition. I think it's the Chiefs that have gotten extremely lucky in so many games this year.
But I think the Chiefs have
the Eagles lost a game with all their players? Like
no.
With Hurts, Saquon, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith?
Not since the bye week.
And the Eagles should have won 16-1.
Game did they
all
lose?
year. All year. They did not lose a game with their players, their whole team, all year.
What do you mean their whole team?
I mean, like the Hurts, Saquon, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, and those guys.
Against the Bucks, they didn't have their receivers.
I'm pretty sure they all I'm pretty sure they all played against the Falcons.
No.
Oh no, AJ Brown was hurt. You're right.
They haven't lost a game with their actual team, which they have in this one. That's and even with that stat, they lost 2 games off of drops. They should have won 16-1. This team has been extremely dominant, not just by the record, but by the eye test. They have been dominating everybody. And I just think player for player, I think Kansas City is going to struggle to match up. I looked at the game last year, which the Eagles should have lost. Okay, I will admit. I think Valdez-Scantling dropped a touchdown to lose
I will say
that was one of those games that the Chiefs always win and they lost.
It's pretty funny that everyone's talking about the Super Bowl and nobody's forgetting that that's not even like the
most recent game. Yeah,
because
to be fair,
the problem is that both teams were kind of shit at that time.
Yeah, well, the Eagles were supposed to be good at that point in the year.
Weirdly, the Chiefs figured it out a few weeks after that, and the Eagles fell apart after that. So it's not really.
But to be fair, in that game as well, Jalen Hurts played like ass, but the Chiefs also had Snead, who took AJ Brown completely out the game, which they don't have anymore. I think that is the biggest concern I have with Kansas City is their defense is nearly as good as it was last year.
Like a huge pass,
he dropped a touchdown.
Yeah,
the Chiefs should have won that game. I thought the Chiefs last year were better than the Eagles, but I think that game, the Eagles. I thought the Chiefs last year, at least roster wise, were better than the Chiefs this year. Mahomes, at least defensively.
So Mike said Mitch is talking up how great of a team Mahomes will beat. I think the MVP of this game, if the Chiefs win, is Steve Spagnuolo.
It'll go to Travis Kelce just so he can propose to Taylor Swift. But
go to Mahomes again. Why are we overthinking this,
dude? Because Mahomes.
My bigger question is: do you guys think there's any chance if the Eagles win, and since Durcant's predicting it, do you think there's any chance it's Jalen Hurts, or do you think it's definitely
Yes. You know why? Because your boy Trent McDuffie can't cover A.J. Brown, because Devontae Smith owns the Chiefs. The Chiefs can't cover tight ends, and Dallas Goedert is the best tight end against man coverage, and the Eagles' offensive line is the best in the NFL.
Or because Hurts has the most passing yards in his regular season and postseason career against
I don't think the Chiefs will be able to consistently get to Jalen Hurts. I don't think they will.
I disagree with that.
I think they will if they stop the run, which is a big if.
I don't think anyone can stop this run game, and they couldn't stop Buffalo's. So why would they be able to stop Phillies?
They haven't played a ton of great run defense.
I think they'll get to Hurts a few times, but I don't think it could matter, it could not. It depends on the moments they do and they don't.
Phillies run game, I don't know why Ultra tried to downplay Phillies run game, saying that he doesn't think they can ground and pound the way Buffalo did. Why wouldn't they be able to
say that? Again, you guys are being unfair. I did not say Philly cannot ground and pound. I said Kansas City is more equipped to slow down explosive run plays.
I don't think Philly needs explosive run plays to win.
And I thought that what broke open those games for the Eagles offense was their ability to hit big run plays.
Which game?
Rams and Washington, especially Rams.
They beat Washington by 30.
I know, but the game started with a huge run play.
Saquon had explosive runs in every single game.
Every
single one.
The Chiefs.
Why do you think Kansas City is going to be any different?
They're one of the best tackling teams, and they're one of the best teams at slowing down explosive runs. And Washington.
It doesn't matter. Saquon's done it to everybody. Every single team.
I don't think they're gonna run through Chanel and Nick Bolton the way that they did.
I don't think they have to. I think the problem is that the Chiefs won't be able to score And the Eagles, that
I think
plays
the
into
Chiefs are
Philly's
gonna
favor.
score. Again,
I think if it's a defensive game, the Eagles have the significantly better defense.
I don't. Again, I think Andy Reid and Mahomes with 2 weeks to prepare are going to score some points in this game.
How many points?
They'll score at least 20.
At least 20. Okay, they can lose 23-20.
Probably in the mid-20s to the high 20s. Like
high 20s. They're not going to score more than 24. I guarantee it. They
I
won't score more than 24. I guarantee it. I have that much faith in the Eagles defense. I guarantee it.
Right,
You
Rams,
guys were the ones that were
the Rams
posting their
put up
defensive
22
profiles talking about how
points.
great they were.
They
No,
are
that was
great.
awesome.
Exactly.
I think Mahomes is one of the greatest quarterbacks ever, and Reed's one of the greatest.
You know what I think a big difference is, though? The Eagles' O-line is so much better than the Chiefs. I don't think
way better.
Chiefs' O-line is shit.
The Chiefs' O-line isn't. The
Mitch,
Chiefs receivers still aren't that good.
Do me a favor, please pick the Eagles. You just keep acting like they're gonna win, and then you say,
because they should.
And you know what's funny?
them.
Even last year's Super Bowl, the Chiefs didn't score that much on a banged up average Niners defense.
I know, but I think the Chiefs.
Who have the Chiefs actually lit up in the playoffs that's not Sean McTerrist in recent years?
They've only played 2 games.
No one.
I'm talking about last year too.
Last year they played
Baltimore.
Miami.
They got shut off.
Baltimore, they scored 17. San Francisco, they scored 25
in overtime,
and
they were bad.
And they put up 23, right? And then Buffalo was 31 or 30.
The only defense that they scored high 20s on was Buffalo because Buffalo's defense sucks.
Okay, you guys.
I think the Chiefs need to get their quick pass game going.
You know what the Chiefs team total in this game is?
What?
24.5.
It's exactly 24.5.
Pretty sure.
What? If there's no chance
under
that they score 24, why do the smart people in Vegas have it 24.5?
Under.
Do you understand that everyone wants to bet on the Chiefs?
Yes. Okay. And yet I don't know why you haven't picked the Eagles. Like it's just
the Eagles are the better team. You know, I will be. You know what?
The Eagles should win, but they won't.
Excited.
Because it's fucking rigged.
It's rigged. The refs
why are you
the Eagles stopped the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl in 2022.
Ultra, I'll make you happy. If the Eagles win, it'll be kind of like the Bucks win.
You think that I agree with you.
Not maybe like that bad, but
I think if the Eagles win,
if the Eagles win, they win by 10 plus.
It's like 31-20.
Yeah.
Something like that. It's like
I think it could go similarly to the Eagles-Ravens game where it's low scoring, but Philly was up 2 scores before the end of that one, and they more or less pull away because Saquon Barkley is unstoppable and you can't stop him from rushing for 20 yards. Which Ultra thinks the Chiefs can for some reason, but no one can.
I think if the Chiefs win, it's like 27, 24, 23.
They're not going to score 27. I promise you.
I went with 24-23. That was my Chiefs score.
Okay, so you say 24. Something like that. All of these games are going to be close. They don't blow anybody out anymore, but
they can't blow out the Eagles.
I think if it's a close game that favors the Chiefs, if it's a blowout, it's 100% going to be the Eagles.
All right, let's look at because Negan,
how many points did the Eagles score in that first Super Bowl, though?
You know, let me tell you this. Negan, McCaffrey is not as good as Saquon. And actually, this is a good little side thing because, as you guys know, the MVP just dropped. Josh Allen won it. Mitch made a video. All I will say is Saquon not winning it this year. If you thought McCaffrey deserved it last year, it would have looked so bad if Saquon didn't this year. If McCaffrey were to have won it last year, because Saquon had a significantly better season, and Saquon has a significantly better offensive line than McCaffrey did.
That's true.
And Saquon is just the more explosive player.
The difference I've been saying between the two is that the Niners are more about their scheme and the Eagles are more about their players.
Yeah, the Eagles are just straight up more talented than everybody else, and that's why they've been winning.
I also think the Chiefs' run defense this year is better than it was last year. Last year, they were one of the worst in the league.
They've been shaky recently, too.
But last year, they were like 28th. This year, they're like 15th.
But they had the best secondary in the league. So they could sell out to stop the run and just play man coverage. They can't do that against the Eagles.
I think that's fair, but again, like even against the tush push last week, they bowed up, man. Like,
well, Bills aren't the Eagles when it comes to the tush push. Nobody is.
I don't know. You don't think they are?
No, not quite. They're like a little bit, a little bit below.
Hey, Ultra, let's get to your props, bro, and then we'll get to our official pick.
Right. So I've got a bunch of Mahomes overs, of course.
Of course he does.
I do have Patrick Mahomes' longest pass under 33.5 minus 114.
No.
I do. I think it'll be.
There's no way.
Has he thrown the ball past 20 yards all year?
Coming from the guy that thinks Worthy's gonna, fry Mitchell.
No. It's gonna be a bunch of short passes. It's gonna be a bunch of like getting the ball out quick to avoid sacks. I
agree.
I have Hurts over 1.5 pass plus rush. I have Jalen Hurts and Mahomes over their rush attempts. And
you think Hurts will run that many times?
I do. I think they're incorporating the tush push, incorporating potential kneel down situations,
which you don't think are going to happen.
And end of half / end of game. So
they're going to give it a Saquon end of half, just so you know.
I like anytime touchdown for Jalen Hurts at minus 115.
I agree.
Okay.
Kareem Hunt, I like anytime touchdown plus 145.
Kareem Hunt, by the way, Kareem Hunt is a dog. He is so much better than Pacheco. It's not even funny.
I don't even know if Pacheco will play.
Pacheco's a bum. I can't believe people hyped him up.
He's hurt.
I won't like this one. Saquon, longest rush under 23.
Oh my God. Has any team, when's the last time Saquon's went under 20? That's going to lose you your money.
Okay, it's official. If Saquon busts like a 50-yard touchdown, I'm sending a picture of my jersey to Ultra.
You know what? Chat. This is great, actually, because this is why you don't take betting advice from Ultra. You take betting advice from me.
You guys are saying that Saquon had 9 games this year with a long rush under 24 yards. 9 games.
How many in a row though has he
had? 18. Half of his games he's done this. You guys
but how many in a row?
What do you mean?
Year? How many? It feels like 7 games in a row he's hit this.
He's hit it 2
He
straight.
hits it every week. He should have won MVP. He's the best
player. Do you think he'll go over or under his total rushing yards?
I'm not betting the total because I can see him getting a lot of accumulation.
Okay.
But I think the longer run is the better value. I like AJ Brown over 69.5.
Wow, really?
Oh, wow. I'm surprised.
He's a tough matchup for McDuffie in terms of
tougher than Matt Collins?
Tougher than Matt Collins, who pushed off on one.
No, that's impossible. I've never seen prime AJ Brown, Moss, Gilmore. So
Kelsey, anytime touchdown plus 125, of course. Give me, this is from Mitch, Devontae Smith to have longest reception in the game, plus 630.
I got him with
you didn't bet Worthy.
500 lead the game in receiving.
I like that, actually.
Dallas Goedert, over 50.5 receiving yards, minus 110.
Okay.
Classic.
That's everyone's bet, by the way. It's kind of scaring me at this point.
Classic Noah Gray, over 1.5 receptions, plus 120.
That's a good bet.
I agree.
P. Ryan, over 7.5 receiving yards.
Oh, classic.
Nolan Smith to record a sack.
Oh!
Go Dogs.
That's Jones, a bias bet.
Chris Jones to record a sack, plus 130.
Nope. He's getting shut down.
I'm worried.
Can we bet on Chris Jones tipped passes?
I don't think you can, but you would take it over. I'm worried about Landon Dickerson and Cam Jurgens were both banged up coming out of that Washington game, and Jalen Hurts tends to take up some interior pressure. Chiefs to score more points in the second half / overtime, minus 106. Eagles with more time of possession, minus 172. I really like that bet.
Wow.
Largest lead of the game under.
Wait, repeat that. You said Eagles more time of possession.
You think the Chiefs
and you're picking them to lose?
More time of possession?
Yeah, I mean the Eagles always have more time of possession.
So you think the Chiefs
Eagles
are
have
basically
the entire game in the first Super Bowl? It was like 40 minutes. Largest.
The Chiefs have the most possession per drive in the NFL, right?
The Chiefs love. It'll be close, but
I don't think the Chiefs win if they don't have.
Yeah,
more
I don't think they can win if they.
I disagree. I think the Chiefs can.
I know you disagree because you still think Mahomes is in 2018.
So you think they're going to get explosives then?
They'll get a couple, but I think the Chiefs can move down the field in chunks. I don't think it's going to be.
This isn't Buffalo.
Okay. Largest lead of the game, under 14.5, minus 148.
Good bet.
Both teams succeed on a fourth down, minus
Oh, that's a good
124.
one.
Team that scores last wins the game, minus 215.
Oh, that's a
Here you
fuck
go.
you bet.
Here you go. Swifty special. How did it end? Travis Kelce to score a touchdown in the fourth quarter, plus 540.
Did you bet that?
Yep. Chiefs fourth.
Oh,
It's
Chiefs fourth
disgusting.
quarter, minus 1.5, plus 130.
did you bet on the proposal?
I like halftime. No.
Can you bet on the proposal?
Yes.
It's like plus 600.
If Kelsey wins Super Bowl MVP, he's gonna do it.
Halftime, full-time, Mitch. Eagles lead at half. Chiefs
That was one of my bets.
plus
That was one of my
550. And then some miscellaneous ones. Opening kickoff to be a touchback or fair catch, minus 220.
Mhm.
Color of the first Gatorade poured on the winning head coach, plus 370 to be purple. Coin toss
all the way with the fucking Swift.
Coin toss to be heads, minus 104. And then finally,
Did you actually bet that?
no, I didn't actually bet that. But that's one I would do. Chiefs to win coin toss and game, plus 260.
Okay, so I just want to give you, like, you guys, like, at home, a little fun here. So I guarantee you, I'm having about 12 people at my place for the game. And usually there's like about 8 of them that are lined up in front of the TV, and they just bet on the coin toss, and then they go back and sit down. It's the most exciting point of the game for like 8 people in attendance. They're like so into it. But it's like the dumbest bet in the history of sports betting, because
they're all stupid, because like
that's what makes them
how
fun.
are you supposed to know what color Gatorade's gonna get poured?
Well, you could have inside information.
I mean, I guess only the
I'm
team.
surprised you aren't a water boy at this point, given how much you like them.
Yeah, Ultra.
I don't live in Kansas City.
Adam Sandler.
Do you not?
No. I've been to Missouri.
All right. Durcant, do you have any bets yet, or no? You're waiting.
You know what?
You're taking Chiefs under 24.5.
Yes, that is the primary. Everyone in the chat, I advise you to take the Chiefs under 24.5. The most they can get is 24, and that's with overtime.
All right.
But
okay,
other than
let's first hear Ultra's prediction for the game and what he thinks will happen. Super Bowl MVP.
Okay. Again, statistically, the Eagles are the better team. The Eagles have the more talented roster. The Chiefs have been defying what statistics suggest for 3 years now, you guys. How many times have we seen this story? They've gone into every Super Bowl with the worst roster, 1 through 53, and they've won 3 of them. I really do think the gap at quarterback and head coach makes up for the Eagles' roster advantage, and they put those teams on equal caliber. Philly was way more talented than the Rams, too, and they almost lost. And first of all, the fact that Saquon Barkley's explosive runs are so important to the Eagles' offensive, like not only their success, but their philosophy to me, it just doesn't seem like, I don't think that can work against the Chiefs. I don't think you're going to be busting in 43-yard carries against the Chiefs. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but it hasn't happened this season. They've allowed like 2 runs longer than 25 yards this year. Just doesn't really happen against them. I also think Steve Spagnuolo, I think he'll create pressures with blitzing, and he's facing a quarterback that with Jalen Hurts has struggled throughout his career, including this year against the blitz. And so I think the combination of fewer Saquon Barkley explosives, putting the game into Jalen Hurts' hands, I think that'll allow Steve Spagnuolo to come up with some stuff that throws Jalen Hurts off his game and causes him to miss some open receivers. The Chiefs defense always steps up. Throughout their dynasty run, they've always stepped up in big games for the most part. I have no reason to believe that when they've done it in literally every single situation over the last 2 years, they're not going to do it in this game. And again, the Eagles defense, as good as it's been, and it has been the best defense in the league, we have not seen a Chiefs offense this season that is nearly as good as what they are right now, because their weapons have been makeshift all year. Rashee Rice, out for the season in September. That completely hurt their progress. Marquise Brown has not been in the lineup until December. DeAndre Hopkins, they added off the street in the middle of the year. Juju Smith-Schuster has barely been playing for this team. Their running back room has been a complete mess. Pacheco got hurt, has not come back, and looked like the player he was pre-injury. They had to sign Kareem Hunt off the street. And they've made it all work, and they've been a top 10 offense because of Mahomes and Reed. That's how good these guys have been. And I don't think the Eagles pass rush is going to dominate this game. I think Jalen Carter will see a lot of doubles. I think Andy Reid will have a plan for him. I think Mahomes will get the ball out quick. I think they'll get 4 to 5 to 6 yards on a lot of first downs. I think they'll be able to run on short yardage pretty well. And again, it's not lost on me that the Rams and Commanders had success with their tight ends, and the Chiefs have the greatest playoff tight end ever. I think Kelsey's going to have some plays in this game and some big moments. It's just tough. I think, like I said, if the Eagles win this game, it'll be by double digits. And it's tough for me to see the Eagles blowing out the Chiefs. It's tough for me to see anybody blowing out the Chiefs. The only team that beat the Chiefs this year with their starters was the Buffalo Bills with Josh Allen. And that was in a game where Josh Allen, who was the league MVP, had his MVP moment. And that's a team that has a lot more familiarity with the Chiefs and was at home in that game. It's impossible to hold Mahomes down for 4 quarters. It just is in a playoff game. He's come back from double digits in 3 separate Super Bowls. And because of that, because I think it'll be a close game, how am I going to pick against the Kansas City Chiefs? Like, why would I do that? All they've done for 2 years now is win close games. And finally, I have the fundamental belief that legendary athletes rise to the occasion in legendary type moments and legendary type stages. And I think Sunday night is that moment for Patrick Mahomes. I think it's his way to really make the GOAT debate a serious one, because that would be accomplishing something that Tom Brady wasn't able to do, that nobody was able to do. And with history on the line, I don't see him or the team as a whole not rising up to the moment. That's all that they've done for 3 seasons now. And so will it be close? Yeah. Will it be tough? Absolutely. Could Philly win? Certainly. Philly has a lot of advantages in this game. I'm not begrudging anyone who picks the Eagles. But I have had no reason all year to not think the Chiefs are winning the Super Bowl. I think the commentary against them has been embarrassing when they've had the best record in the league all year. I think we've missed the forest for the trees with this team. And I think the quarterback and coaching edge, as is proven in Super Bowls past, will prove to offset the roster edge. And in a close game, give me the Chiefs. So, Chiefs win 27-24. Mahomes wins Super Bowl MVP. There's a shock. Give me the Chiefs -1.5. And over-under, to be honest, I'm pretty split. I can see scenarios where it's slightly over. I would lean the under, though, in terms of, and I know my score would go over, but I think there are more scenarios in which this game goes under. So those are my thoughts. But again, I'm not picking against the Chiefs. Why would you at this point? That's all they've done is win. And they have a legendary athlete who I think is going to have a legendary moment.
Durcant, you have the floor.
Yes. First of all, I want to thank everybody who tuned in, even the people that have been clowning me throughout this whole stream. Okay? Really appreciate it. But you have to understand the position I am coming from. I have been the Eagles guy from before the season. Okay? Me and Ultra have argued about Lions-Eagles since the offseason. This has been my team. Okay? I took them first overall in the team draft over every other contender. I said the Eagles in the Discord, which join, by the way, if you aren't in it, were the best team before anyone else wanted to hop on the bandwagon. Nobody believed me. And when I look at this Eagles team, I think this is truly the best team that Kansas City has maybe ever played. When I look at the teams that the Chiefs have beaten in the Super Bowl, the Niners in 2023 were flawed. They had gotten blown out before. They had lost to the other best team in the AFC. They had offensive line issues, defensive issues. The Eagles in 2022 didn't really play anybody, and I would argue that the Eagles should have won that game. Even the Bucks, who blew the Chiefs out, that Bucks team in the regular season at least, they weren't all that. They weren't favored to win any of their last 3 playoff games, and those games were close. This Eagles team has been blowing everybody out. They have been smacking everybody around. They destroyed Washington, who beat everyone's favorite in the NFC. They were up 2 scores against Baltimore in the end, which, again, like I said, I think Baltimore and Buffalo are the same caliber of team. So do that math with the AFC Championship. I just think Philadelphia, what I've seen from them all year is I have seen a defense that is pretty much impossible to score 30 on, like virtually impossible. I see an offensive line that is impenetrable, and every sack they let up is by their quarterback's own accord. I see a running back who not only is having the greatest running back season of all time, but when you really dive into the season that he is having, he is peaking at the right time. Saquon Barkley is peaking right now. As a player, it's his birthday. I look at the Eagles have maybe a top 5 receiver in A.J. Brown.
Is that really true? Is it really his birthday?
It is his birthday, yeah.
Okay.
It's his birthday.
Good for Saquon.
They have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. I think the Chiefs have struggled to cover more than people would like to admit. I think their pass defense is susceptible. And honestly, that hasn't really came to be that big of an issue for them in a long time. This whole season, they haven't really had to play a team with the wide receiver talent of the Eagles. The closest that you would get is the Houston game, and Houston was moving the ball really well before Tank Dell got hurt. And he's kind of like a similar kind of player to Devontae Smith, who always plays well against the Chiefs. So I think that's a two-headed monster Kansas City will struggle with. As good as Kansas City's scheme is, I have seen last year with the Ravens, they start off well, but eventually they just fizzle out. The talent difference is just too much greater. I think the Eagles have matchups for Travis Kelce. I know they've struggled a bit against tight ends, but I think if push comes to shove and he becomes an issue, I think they can put Cooper DeJean on him. I know the Eagles like to play zone and relatively, safe coverages, but I think they have the talent at DB to say, if you're going to make our receivers beat you, and I'm not sure if they can, because just like last year, I don't think Kansas City's receivers are that good. And I know, I get it. The Chiefs have the coaches. They have Mahomes. They have Taylor Swift's boyfriend. They have Taylor Swift. They have the devil. They have the refs. They have the 3P aura. But I have believed in the Eagles all year, and I'm not going to back down when they finally made it to where I think that where I thought they were going to make. Okay? I have picked the Eagles all year, and now I'm not going to change it. Okay? I will be picking the Eagles because nobody else has the balls to do it. Period.
I will be picking the Chiefs.
No, because... okay. Mitch, you know what? Deep down, I want you to admit something.
Okay.
You're picking the Chiefs.
Yes.
Deep down, you kind of like the Chiefs. You do.
No, I don't like the Chiefs at all.
I don't like the
deep
Chiefs.
Down, nothing.
There's no way you would be picking the Eagles otherwise.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say.
Everything in the book, all of my stats. I got my laptop open here. I got about 20 of these notes taken up by stats and Chiefs, Eagles propaganda and notes about all the different videos I've been making. And everything tells me the Eagles are the better team. The Eagles have the better offensive line. The Eagles have the better receivers. The Eagles have the better defensive line. The Eagles have the better secondary. But I have picked against the Chiefs too many times. My head hurts. My wallet hurts. So I'm done. That being said, the score will be 24-23. The Eagles will have the ball at their own 30-yard line. Saquon Barkley will break a 60-yard touchdown. And after he runs across the end zone with his arm,
You muted yourself.
you will see a ref throw a flag into the air,
Glorious.
holding Philadelphia. It'll be 3rd down and 12. Jalen Hurts will be sacked by Chris Jones, and the Chiefs will get the ball back. They'll run the clock out with a Samaje Perine mesh play out of nowhere, and they'll win.
2 bets hit right there.
My prediction is the Eagles should have won, and they should win, but the Chiefs will win. Now, that being said, if anybody can beat the Chiefs, it's my boy Saquon Barkley. We've been riding with Saquon. I got 3 jerseys, bro. Since 2018, even when these guys on this panel said I was delusional. All right? So the Eagles, that being said, if the Eagles win, I've already made this prediction, bro. Chiefs win close, Eagles blow them out. That's my prediction for this game.
Durcant, what's your score prediction?
Okay. I will be picking the Eagles. I said this game will go similarly to the Eagles-Ravens game. I think Saquon Barkley on his birthday in a defensive game closes the game out, outplays Patrick Mahomes and Taylor Swift's boyfriend on a 33-yard carry for a touchdown. And I will be predicting the Eagles to win this football game 23-17.
You know what? Why didn't if the Eagles are going to win, they're going to score 26 points.
That would be amazing.
I'm just going to say it'll look like every Chiefs playoff game, which is they're probably trailing at halftime, and then Mahomes gets the ball at the end, and then he goes down and does what he does.
Super Bowl MVP, Saquon Barkley, but the real MVP should be Cooper DeJean, my guy. Right? He will shut Travis Kelce down when it matters. Cooper DeJean.
I'm gonna say whichever defensive coordinator has a better performance will win. That's
here's what I think, honestly.
Another prediction.
Spagnuolo and Fangio are similar caliber coordinators.
Yeah.
I think the Chiefs' offensive scheme is better than the Eagles. And I think
no one disagrees.
Okay, I'm not even going to get into it.
You disagree with that?
No,
I agree, but I think the Eagles' talent is a lot.
I agree, way better.
I wanted to ask, do we think anybody other than Mahomes, Saquon, and Hurts can win MVP?
Kelce.
Yes. Ultra, Kelce. You don't want to say it because you're a Swiftie, but if the script is already going against what everybody actually wants. If the Chiefs win, it's going to be Kelce with like a Zach Ertz, who's ageless, by the way. Unbelievable. He's going to have the same performance Zach Ertz did, probably better.
As much as you're trying
he's going to have like 2 touchdowns, and he's going to propose to Taylor Swift with the Super Bowl MVP.
As much as you're trying to make it about this Taylor Swift thing, and I get why, I think this is more about the three-peat. I think
this is about
more about legacy. I think this is more about
Travis Kelce. Okay, well let me ask you this: if Travis Kelce does win Super Bowl MVP and he's the best player on the field, is he the GOAT tight end?
I think probably at that point.
Yo, Ben said if the Chiefs win by 1 point after blocking a 20-yard field goal.
That might happen. They did it to the Broncos. This is why I hate this team.
They just find ways to win.
All right, guys. I still have one video to come out before the Super Bowl. I'll record it tonight. It'll be why the Chiefs will win the Super Bowl and finish the three-peat.
I can't wait for that video.
It will be my argument for why the Chiefs can win. I've made that video for the Eagles already, why the Eagles will upset the Chiefs and win the Super Bowl. So that video will be out later, but yeah, this is BLV versus Consensus. Do we have any last words? This is the final episode of the 2024-2025 NFL season. This, guys, if you don't already know, is a show that we do exclusively, for the most part, on Patreon and YouTube membership. So if you're not a member or a patron, check out Patreon, YouTube membership, $3 a month to get this show every single week of the NFL season for 2025, but we'll have plenty of off-season shows as well. Any final words, guys?
Yeah, thank you everybody who showed up in the chat. I've been, reading. Some of you guys, hate me, think I'm delusional, but that's fine. I really appreciate it, and I'm gonna miss you guys. This has been a great season. We've got some historic quarterback play, historic running back play, some all-time talented teams, and a potential three-peat. So I just hope next year will be as fun as this year. I'll miss you guys.
Shout out to Ben for being the ultimate ball knower in the chat. Shout out to Big Al. Good luck to your guys' teams. And like Durcant said, this has been a great season. Been an up and down playoffs. There's been a couple really awesome games, but we've also gotten a lot of blowouts. But hopefully we got a great game like we got 2 years ago with these two teams. The last thing I want to say real quick is in a league where everything turns over, it favors the worst teams because of the draft. It favors the teams that have a lot of salary cap space. These two teams have been the two model franchises in their conference over the last 8 years. And I think they both deserve a lot of respect for their consistency and for their ability to always have success every year. So shout out to the Eagles and the Chiefs for always being there at the end of the year.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching. Gronk, spike the like button. Subscribe. Have fun with the Super Bowl. Peace. Go Birds, baby!